She was 18 years old. Her father was dead. Her brother, her co-ruler, wanted her gone, not dethroned, dead. She had been exiled from her own kingdom, the greatest kingdom in the ancient world. She was alone, hunted, powerless, or so they thought, because what they didn't understand, what no one ever understood about her, was this: she was never powerless, not for a single day of her life. Stay with me, because this story of a woman the whole world tried to erase is about to remind you of something you may have forgotten about yourself. If you have ever been pushed out, pushed down, pushed aside by people who underestimated you, subscribe to this channel right now. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs to remember their own power. This story is for you. I'm Dr. TJ, a Harvard Fellowship-trained surgeon and a distinguished Toastmaster. The highest honor in Toastmasters International, earned by less than 1% of members worldwide. And everything I'm about to share with you comes from decades of real-world experience at the highest levels. She was born in 69 BC, the daughter of Ptolemy XII, Pharaoh of Egypt. Egypt was the wealthiest, most powerful nation in the ancient world. And from childhood, she was extraordinary. While her siblings were educated in the standard royal curriculum, she went further. She mastered 9 languages, including Egyptian, which no Ptolemaic ruler before her had ever bothered to learn. Think about that. Her own family had ruled Egypt for 200 years, and not one of them had spoken to their people in their own language. She did. She studied philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, and the art of rhetoric. She understood that power was not just inherited, it was built, word by word, connection by connection, decision by decision. When her father died, she was 18 years old. She was named co-ruler of Egypt alongside her 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII. She was most capable ruler Egypt had seen in a generation, and that was precisely the problem. Her brother's advisors saw her as a threat, not just politically, existentially. A woman, educated, multilingual, beloved by the Egyptian people, was dangerous to men who preferred their rulers compliant. They moved against her. Within 3 years of taking the throne, she was stripped of power, then exiled, then hunted. She fled into the desert with a small group of loyal followers. Her brother's army stood between her and her kingdom. She was 21 years old, alone in the desert, with nothing but her mind and her absolute refusal to accept that this was the end. Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in the world, had arrived in Alexandria. He was there to settle the dispute between the siblings. Her brother's forces controlled every entrance to the palace. She could not reach Caesar. She could not walk through the front door. So she did something no one expected. She rolled herself inside a carpet and had herself smuggled directly into Caesar's private chamber. When the carpet unrolled, she stood before the most powerful man in the world, alone, uninvited, utterly certain. Caesar was 62 years old. He had conquered half the known world. He had never met anyone like her. Within hours, he was her ally. Within days, her armies were mobilizing. She reclaimed her throne. She would go on to form alliances with the two most powerful Romans of her age, Caesar and Mark Antony. She expanded Egypt's territory. She stabilized her economy. She built temples and libraries. For 21 years she ruled Egypt, not as a figurehead, not as a symbol, as a sovereign, the only female ruler of the ancient world who held real power in her own right for her entire reign. Her name was Cleopatra, the 18-year-old exiled in the desert, the woman who smuggled herself past an army inside a carpet because she refused to be kept out of her own story. She did not wait for permission. She did not wait for rescue. She walked, rolled into the room where decisions were being made. And she changed the world. Here are three quotations from Cleopatra. The first, "I will not be triumphed over." Cleopatra the seventh. Second quote, "Know your worth, then add tax." End quote, Cleopatra 7. The third and last quote, "Where there is power, there is resistance, and where there is resistance, there is strength." End quote, Cleopatra 7. Cleopatra was exiled at 18. She had every reason to accept it, every reason to believe the story her enemies were writing about her. She refused. She rolled herself into a carpet and delivered herself personally to the room where her future was being decided. Here is your challenge. What room are you being kept out of? What door is closed not because you can't open it, but because someone convinced you that you don't belong on the other side? Cleopatra didn't knock. She didn't wait for an invitation. She found a way in. Now find your carpet and get yourself into the room. Share this story with every woman and every man who has been told they don't belong in the room. They do, and this video might just be the reminder they need. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and come back Thursday for a story about the warriors who mastered their greatest enemy.
You are unstoppable.